Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic voyage here at Real Deal Media as The Men's is back for one of the most critical episodes in quite some time. That's right, and that's why I'm your host here, your top harem, Dean Ryan. For tonight's episode is called The Men's. It's the men's show here, a Requiem for Harem. Absolutely a Requiem for Harem. We are standing up, united, never before, because the man species, yes, we're under attack. And we just need a break. I mean, you know what it's like being a hunter 24/7, protecting people, helping old ladies across the street, getting cats down from the tree. I mean, I can count the splinters in one hand, and it's more than a baker's dozen, I'm telling you. Anyways, tonight's show is very special because not only are we broadcasting, hopefully on Facebook at The Real Dean Ryan, and as well as Twitter and Rumble and everywhere else in the universe. Hell, we might even be on NBC for all I know. Tonight we have a special lineup here. We have the returning and heir to the front of the Gregorian calendar, the one and only Sean Gregorian, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Gregorian, thank you for being here.
Good evening.
Here. Also, joining us for the first time here is a special guest who is also just like Sean. He took the plunge, and he's looking for his freedom too. And he called me and he said, "Dean, I'll do whatever I can. Just please show me the way." And our one and only friend of the show here, Neil Bishop. Neil, welcome. Okay. Guys, it's so good to be here. You are my fellow harems here tonight in our Requiem for Harem. We're going to be getting into a lot of things. If you're new to the show here, this is our college night here on Thursday. And I've had Neil, you know about this. Sean, I don't think you know because you're busy, but I've had a hell of a day. I didn't think the show was going to take place. You won't believe what happened to me. I went to the store in about 110-degree weather, like a true harem. Went to the store. On my way back, Sean, you won't believe it, a family of wild boars were there to greet me on the sidewalk. I couldn't believe I got myself in this mess, and I started moving. So when I would move here, the head boar, he'd move there to face me. Then I moved this way. Then he'd move this way. And I said, this is not really what I was planning on ever in my, not just day, but life. So I had to circle the neighbor. I ran the other way. They started chasing me. Neil, you want to comment on this? You've been familiar with the boar family for a long time.
I don't understand how this happened on a day when you're talking about, you know, this very important issue about men and the things that we go through. And here's a perfect example. We're spending our day fighting off wild boars. But I'm trying to picture Dean Ryan, where you were on foot.
Yes, my camel was in the shop, and I was on foot as a harem. And there was one big wild boar. Then there was the big mama boar. Then I think there was grandpa boar. Then there was like 5 little baby boars. And I said, where the hell did these things come from? I mean, how is this possible? I think people know what I'm talking about here. Here's Judy Scott, who's commenting with great wisdom tonight. Thank you, Judy. She says, they can't see you, Dean. They smell you. Now, Judy, let me just stop you there. I hate to boast. I have no BO. In fact, God, I smell good. It's just incredibly wonderful. Sean, do you want to add to that? I don't think you smell bad either, do you, Sean?
It depends on whether I've been chased by boars and sweating. I might be sweating and producing a little body odor, but I don't know if this was some kind of sign, some feminine energy trying to say that men are pigs. I'm not really sure, you know.
Well, we have a lot to get to here tonight, guys. And Neil, thank you for being here tonight. If you don't know who Neil Bishop is, well, he's a man for starters. That's, just to get that out of the way. But so we're going to get into some things. And Neil, I don't know if you're aware, and Sean, you should be. I get a lot of emails from men, women, all ages, from all parts of the world. And we're trying to unite the two species in this great time of challenge with worldwide calamity, with gender bending, erroneous agendas. It can be confusing, and we're trying to put it together for one of the world's greatest mysteries, Neil. And that's called women. And I'm going to tell you guys some things as we're going to get into the following here. And keep up if this is your first time. It's in the key of B, and your kids are going to love it. Well, a lot of women are saying now, we are looking for specific things as the apocalyptic times seem to be just increasing. Oh, is that true? People are saying things like, it's not about what car you drive anymore. It's not about who you know, but it's about, what can you do for me? Here's some things women are overlooking in a man, which we're going to get to. But first, we're also going to get to this right away. Top 10 things that women really need now, according to the mainstream. Where a man is going in life. Well, that's right. Women are quite the navigators, aren't they? Well, women say that they want your social status, they want your bank account, home, the car you drive, etc., because it says a lot about the sense of security you can provide. I'm like, well, why don't women just marry security guards if that's the case? See how simpleton I am? There's got to be more to this. Women are attracted to men who are career-driven but keep in mind family-oriented too. Well, that's, I guess, where I'm lacking. Well, they're looking for a man with a sense of direction, someone who knows where he wants and goes after it. Is that true? Is that true? I mean, I'm never lost. I provide a good time. Isn't that good enough?
I'm not lost as long as I'm with my wife. You know, and that's where men are going. I mean, you asked the question, where are men going? We're going where the women are. Unless you're on your way back from the grocery store and you run into a group of or pack of, is it a pack? A pack of pigs. Then you got and honestly, no. On a serious note, that's where men are going. Men are looking for a fight. Men want to fight. I'm not necessarily talking about a physical fight. It might be, but that's what men, and that's what maybe is lacking in today's society, is that fighting spirit in men is being diminished. That's where we're going.
Neil, you're onto something. I've had this urge to get in a fight with Sean Gregorian for about 2 days now. I don't know why. It's just irking me. Sean, you want to agree to that, or you want to add to that wonderful take on that from our harem there?
Well, there's with what you said, there's it's almost like a dichotomy there, because yes, women are looking for stability and to make sure that things are going to be taken care of and cared for.
That's right.
But at the same time, aren't women looking for a little bit of a rogue person, a kind of a bad boy, little excitement, danger,
you might be onto something. You might be onto something. And
how do we reconcile that? Like,
That's right. That's right. And very, very, very good. Very good noticing there, Mr. Harem. All right, we're going to go to the next one here. Number 9 here of what women really need right now that we might be unaware of as we get to the mystery of it. Well, they're saying, well, look at this. His intelligence and desire to listen. Well, thank God I have a high IQ and I can put a Rubik's Cube together in less than 5 minutes. And I'm a great listener. Wait, what's that again? That's right. I truly am. All ears, they say. Well, women find intelligence, as a main factor in factoid because it helps you hold a conversation. And when it comes to that, they're saying, comes to listening, it's a big reflection on your patience and willingness to learn. Well, what if we know a lot and we know things? I'm not trying to argue, but they say you might not be interested in hearing about her workplace drama over a spilled cup of Starbucks for a few hours, and don't we know it? But there are other times when listening can be valuable. And, women say I don't listen, and that is so not true, and I don't know how you got shrunk, but I listen all the time, which makes this 8th one, as we just get to the bottom of this, very poignant. Well, they're saying they want to feel comfortable around friends and her. Comfortable around friends and her. What does that mean? I'm quite comfortable all the time unless there's adjusting that needs to be done. But they're saying that she wants to see your true personality. In other words, be real. Don't be a facade for different people. Make sure you stay true to who you are across the board. Some might say that's what the problem is, depending who you ask. I mean, Sean, before I go on, isn't that the problem? We're just too much of ourselves in a world. We're like a man with a fork in a world of soup. Are we not?
Yeah. No, I was just thinking about when we talked about the last time about listening.
Which clearly you didn't do right now. Neil, I'm going to go to you.
Were you saying something?
Neil, that's I'm going to save the show if you could before.
I think that women want a man who strongly let the woman know that she needs to listen, because we have a lot of important things to say. And I mean, I think if women are honest, they really want a man that knows what he's talking about and that can wax eloquent on a number of different subjects, whether it be politics or emotions or, quite an array of things we could talk about or whatever it was. Like you need a woman to go home to where you can say, hey, listen to my story about this pack of boars that I ran into on the way home. And I think a woman, I think most women have an inherent desire to listen to a man talk about what it means to be a man.
I agree with you. And I just want to say for the viewers out there, he said pack of boars and not pack of whores. It can easily be, if you're just getting here, I ran into boars, not whores. I mean, not that I haven't ran into a pack of whores before. That's a whole other story. We're going to move on here before people's lawyers get called here. And let me just address this too. Dana 1970 says, Dean wants to be seduced. No, I don't want to be seduced. I want to be heard. I'm a person too. I have feelings, Dana. And then Lena Stormwind says, men don't even listen to other men sometimes. Lena, that's actually true. I can't even argue that. We saw what Sean just did there. All right, we're going to continue on here. It says, sure of his word. Sure of his word. Well, we don't offer 5-year guarantee warranties here or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure we don't. Or am I? Well, sure of his word, here's what they're saying. And they're saying that there's confidence in how you respond. That's right. Not react. Respond. They say if you don't want to do something, just say no. If you do want to do something, then you just say yes. Just like negotiating, men who say no are willing to walk away often and get everything they want in the end. Let me add, this is so not true because that's a trap if I've ever smelt one. Just tell them the truth and that you don't want to do it or go there. No, that is going to be a world of hurt. You have to go through it like going to the dentist. You just have to deal with it the best way you can. Am I wrong, Sean Gregorian? Hopefully you heard me.
Yeah, I heard you. It's a balance. You have to be honest, but you have to know when is the right time to say something or if something should be said. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? You have to make that decision sometimes.
Okay. Sean, you sound like a hostage if I've ever heard it. You sound like a real hostage to me. I don't know what that is.
Sean's been married for a long time. I can tell.
Can you tell his captor's treating him nicely? He's about to die.
Sounds like something I would say.
Yeah.
His wife's watching. She's commenting probably right now.
Yeah, we're in the desert, and he acts like ISIS is nearby. Okay, so let's just continue here before we continue to break the seal here.
What more under this list? That's fine.
A lot of people are saying, how many's in a pack of whores? Somebody's see what happens. Anyways, he laughs out loud and has a sense of humor. Look at this guy. He laughs out loud and has a sense of humor like the guy in the like the total actor there. Well, what does that mean? We laugh out loud, but it's hard to have a sense of humor because, like John Belushi said, sometimes women they're not just the HBO comedy special that they might think they are. Or are they? Well, let's see what they're saying here because maybe I'm wrong. They're saying it's one thing to be funny and it's another to be a clown. Well, for us, women say be comfortable with yourself enough to joke around and avoid doing so at the expense of others. A good laugh can go a long way in, making everyone in the room feel good. Women want a man who expresses themselves in little ways attractive, they find. Never be afraid to be goofy or silly. Okay, let me address this too. That's another trap. Neil. Okay, and here's why. Is because when you are goofy and throwing popcorn in the air and getting lighters and doing things with it, that is instant friend zone, like an instant cup of noodles. Is it not, Neil Bishop?
I think women want a man that can laugh at his own jokes. And it might even seem irritating to them at the time. But I think deep down inside, they want a man that's confident enough that knows what he says is funny. And when he's joking and clowning around, he should be the center of attention, in my opinion. Because think about, and really kind of from what we talked about earlier, the guy that women kind of, they regret not staying with, it might be that high school clown, the popular kid that was always funny, the one that was, causing the scenes in class and all that. But they went with the more sophisticated guy. Okay. Who doesn't really laugh at himself, who doesn't have that sense of humor. And maybe there's some regret there involved. And I know we're kind of getting into the psyche of it all here, but we could do a deep dive right there.
We could be diving. Speaking of diving into a hole, Sean, you want to add to that? Is being goofy and like Urkel, is that attractive to women? Sean Gregorian.
It seems like it is. I don't think that having a good sense of humor, you're going to be perceived like a clown. I don't know exactly what kind of jokes or antics they're talking about, but going along with what he said, I have seen guys that with just a dry personality and no sense of humor, and I just look at their wife and I'm like, what was the thought process here? Like they didn't think that he was a dud, So
Let me
maybe
guess.
the funny guy did get friends.
It sounds like you're talking about a friend of yours that has this issue. That's wonderful. I love it. Thank you very much, Sean. All right, continuing here. Number 5, a man who acts on his plans, like this dweeb right here. Yeah, that's right. This doofus is continuing his plans, but forget him for a minute, as women like men who don't put the cart before the horse, but are actually the horse themselves. Well, they're saying if you say you are going to do something, you do it. Women are attracted to men who are organized and have plans for the future. It doesn't mean you need to color code a daily planner. And if you did, well, that means you drink wine coolers, in my opinion. Well, they say it simply means you have goals and you're working towards them. Oh, okay. Just how pleasant. We have goals. But you know what? In an ever so changing world, that's not always the case. We have to change things around, but we eventually finish it. I mean, you think Noah made his little ark cruise ship in like 10 days? No. He probably thought he did, but it took like 70 business days. You know what I'm saying? Well, that gives us to his relationship with mom, female relatives, and other women, which that can be interpreted in many, many, many different ways. Well, let's see what they're saying about it here, because we know my relationships. Well, they're saying that consider how you treat other women in your life. Incredible. Except for the secretary who's works as the HOA person. Yeah, she's a real bitch. Well, never mind her for a minute. No matter if it's your mom, your young sister, female coworkers, even the female waitress at a local restaurant, they say, what women find attractive isn't just how good your relationship with them is, but other women. Let me just say here is this is true. Women are always analyzing us like a black light in a Motel 6 room. They are looking for every fissure, damage, leak. They're not even looking for good attributes. They're trying to find out what's wrong with you. Don't you see that as the case, Sean Gregorian?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important to for women to notice how men treat women or people in general, but it may not always be fair, because if he has if there's somebody with toxic personality traits, the way that he has to deal with that, it might not be a fair assessment of him. So you have to have a balance and understand the whole situation.
And thank you. And Neil, Sean was just describing me. I got in his chest. Thank you very much, Sean. I'm a toxic male. Neil, you want to take the baton there, because aren't women just combing us like a CSI team and trying to find every which way wrong with us? I mean, you certainly feel under the gun. I mean, or at least you will after tonight's show.
I'm considering joining the Black Pill movement. You guys familiar with that? The Black Pill movement? Dean, you got to be up to date on that.
Yes, I am. I'm familiar. I thought you were going to say Black Panthers for a minute. I'm like,
not yet. No, but the Black Pill.
What is Black Pill movement?
It's the anti-feminist movement that men are tired of the feminists and what they're doing to try to estrogenize all men, and they're sick of it. And they're saying we're going to do our own little anti-feminist movement here, our men's movement, and we're going to just deny women the luxury of being with us. So we're called, they're called an incel, involuntary celibate.
Well, I know about incel. Yeah, I know what an incel is. That's definitely not me. And because that can be the incel really means an asexual gamer guy. That's what I've learned.
Oh, it's a gamer? I didn't know about that.
Yes. So Neil just tried to describe me after show. Thank you, Neil. Well, what a wonderful show. We're going to go to number 3 now. Here it is. The hobbies a man has. The hobbies a man has. Well, that's right. A woman wants to know if you collect stamps, and if you do, well, do you lick them properly before you put them on an envelope? I've often wondered. And the answer to that, absolutely. Yes, I can spell my name with that thing. But anyways, moving on here. The hobbies a man has really decides whether a woman wants to create a nest or just a one-night nest with you, they say. Well, are you passionate about anything or everything? Or do you just sit home and wonder every day and night, watching television on a couch? A man with hobbies opens the door to situations where women can participate. Well, that's anyways. Well, even if that means simply being there to cheer you on. Yeah, because women love being cheerleaders. Well, let's face it, they say all humans desire a sense of purpose and a bit of adventure in what keeps relationships not boring. Well, yeah, hobbies can be boring, except for the ones I'm involved in. And so that's number 3. But we're going to waltz our way to number 2 here for the number top 10 things that women are desperately in demanding for. The way a man grooms himself. Okay, well, we're not cats. We're not licking our fur and our man fur. But what do they mean by that? Well, let's find out here. They're saying grooming is no different. It's a reflection of your pride if you walk around smelling foul. No, that's not me. Once again, there's no fouls to be found here. Well, you're not just going to struggle more with women, but with life, depending on what your stench or lack thereof is. Well, literally, everyone will walk away to save their own nose. Again, I don't know why. What is the attraction to the smell here? I mean, are men smelling bad these years? Well, they're saying they compound that with things like grooming, bushy eyebrows and elbows, and brushing your teeth and wearing signature cologne. And I mean, yeah, cologne can just be just eye gouging. Investing in proper skincare and slowly you start elevating more than just attractiveness. You start feeling confident, and that's what women like to see. Okay, I'm going to go to you, Neil. I'm going to start with you. Let's talk about grooming here. Neil, I got to know, what are your grooming tips? Do you put skin lotion care, moisturizer, aftershave, manscaping? Women want to know these things. Neil Bishop.
Deer urine is my go-to, and that's the smell that I noticed because I'm a hunter. And honestly, the times that I would go hunting,
Wait a minute,
and I
can
would
you say that again? Deer urine is a
Yeah.
cologne?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think people realize some of the chemical reaction that women have to this type of thing. Because and I started to realize it when I would go hunting. I'd come back from a hunting trip, and there was this energy, this chemistry when I'd come home with my wife. Now, on the one hand, she would try to kind of tell me, "Hey, you don't smell too good, or you need to go groom yourself." But on the other hand, I'm sensing that she's kind of into this. And sure enough,
Oh, really?
I mean, science has shown that it's the hunter gatherers and that smell that sort of emanates from you after being out in the
Really?
wild, being out there with the deer and the elk and the bears and the wild boars and things like that. You come home, and a woman is attracted to that. And so,
Really?
yeah, and so I mean, honestly, that's what I use, and I
Okay. Okay, so I got to go get some deer urine, and I'm sure they sell that somewhere. And we have a lot of people who are commenting on that wild factor there. We have people on Rumble saying, Angelina Wolf says, clean feet, nice toenails, critical. Yeah, I mean, I have award-winning toes too. I just realized that. I mean, I must be a beauty pageant at this point. We also have people that said, yes, deer urine. I guess this is not new for others. Karen Peterson says, manscaping is very important to us ladies, and also hopefully to the men. Because hair in the oh god, I won't say that. Thank you very much.
good discretion.
Never
Thank you very
disappoint.
much, Karen Peterson. Everybody, let's go to Facebook here. We have Judy Scott who's piping in here saying women are backwards today. I guess I'm just old fashioned. We have Vicky Ward, who's very resilient, smart, and everything in between, saying, well, I'll say Dean Ryan, checks all boxes. Thank you, Vicky. And we'll be sending you a prize in the mail. Thank you very much. We have Nigel Farage, who goes by Dyer, saying, why do some men only have courage after they have had a drink or drugs down them?
That's a great question.
Good question, Sean Gregorian. You want to answer that, Sean, in addition to the deer urine revelation we just found out?
Well, I don't know. The deer piss, that's kind of a hard act to follow. But what? I'm sorry. What was his comment? The deer piss just erased it from my mind.
Yeah, well, ladies, this might be an example of we're showing you that men listen sometimes, but maybe not to other men. Well, Nigel wants to know why do we need to be intoxicated to find
Oh,
courage?
that one. Okay.
Yeah. Go
Okay. Probably because people just get, guys just get too used to it, so that they haven't had enough practice of just being themselves, and so they get into the mindset that they have to rely on stuff like that to have confidence and be social.
Yeah, well, that's a very good one here. Okay, so here's the last one here, number one, the final thing that women are looking for. Then we have a hard break coming up, and we're going to get to what the guys say about it. But here's this. Check it out. It's the numero uno. This is it. Well, ZZ Top was right. Women love a sharp-dressed man, as number one is the way a man dresses. Yeah, that's true. And don't judge us by today because it's hotter than Hades out there. Well, number one, here it is. They're saying that, your sense of style goes a long way in making the right or wrong impression with women. Walk around in jeans and a t-shirt all day, then go out in a suit, and you will undoubtedly get more positive attention. That's right. Or if you're just running from wild boars like you've never seen before in your life. Yeah, the pack of boars, that is. Well, positive attention and respect while wearing the suit, women notice. And they say men notice for some reason because what, are they jealous? I don't know. Now they're saying, consider this. Women spend an hour and often longer than that in the restroom getting dressed in the morning. It's an understatement to say that women care about fashion and style, but some are obsessed with it, and they are noticing what you're wearing too. Okay, so that's going to bring us to that. Let's start with you, Neil. How important, we know the smell, we know that the manscaping or lack thereof is important, but how important is the apparel, the style, the dressing? I mean, you're wearing what the t-shirt, is that going to be getting the job done in 2023, Neil?
I guess I want to go back to what I think I brought up earlier in this discussion. Arguably the sexiest character that's ever been played in a movie. Okay, and I think that you both, Sean and Dean, I'm gonna just go out on a limb here and say you're gonna agree with this. Robert Redford and Jeremiah Johnson, and what did his wife make him to wear? Do you guys remember what his wife sewed together for him to wear as a piece of clothing? It was nothing other than a grizzly bear skin. And so, I mean,
Right.
again, it goes back to kind of our roots. What did somebody said? Women like an evolved man. I kind of take issue with that. We might want to devolve back to where we came from. What did we wear before we had these silly things with all the silly statements on it? We were running around
Mhm.
bear skin, and he even had the bear head on him. That guy was, I mean, I'm not into man crushes and stuff like that, but if I were, I would have a serious man crush on Robert Redford's character, Jeremiah Johnson. And one of the main reasons is, what was he wearing? He's wearing this big old grizzly bear skin. And I think that was attractive. And I think, we find evidence of that because he didn't come up with that idea. His wife did. And so women, I mean, prove me wrong. Would you not be extremely attracted to a man if he's walking down the street, taking on a pack of wild boars with a bee in his bearskin, wearing his bearskin while he's doing it?
We have Judy Scott, who's also on fire and quite the arsonist as well, saying apparel doesn't matter that much to me as long as they treat me well. So she likes a naked man. That's what I'm learning. We also have Melody Ann, who's totally disagreeing with the Harem over here, Neil the Harem, saying that evolution has nothing to do with dress. You tell him, Melody. You tell him. Okay, we go to Rumble. We have people saying, Angelina Wolf says, no suit, please. So she doesn't want a suited man, and she wants another naked man as well. I mean, I'm just about getting ready to just tear this thing up. For all these women, just giving me ideas. We have Dana 1970 who says, I like ruggedness in a man. Yes, you do, Dana. And you love the men who are, seniors in college too. She loves those young college types. And why shouldn't she? We also have Bika Bika says, I agree, Sean. So, Sean, see, people do agree with you out there in real life. We have Laura06 says, bear-like, not a fuzzy bear, a real man, a manly man. And Fuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Okay. Anyway, so been waiting to say that for years. And we have Giddy Up Go Go 2023 on Rumble saying, oh, Jeremiah going to be stuck in my head tonight. Wow. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break here. Stand by, guys, my fellow harems. When we get back now, I have these guys who are brilliant. They put some top threes together of things that women might be overlooking, besides the niceties and the legalese out there of what you're supposed to and allowed to say. So when we get back, we're going to get to a top three of what the man brain, which the scientists said, is physically bigger than the female brain. I didn't make it up. I don't know why. But when we get back, we're going to get into that and much, much more of your comments here at Real Deal Media's The Men's. We have a long way to go still. Hold tight. Solid Gelato here says Paula Pelosi. And here's another question about that. Tracy Lynn Widgington says, so was the guy at Pelosi's house there to have guy sex?
Yeah, Mr. Sure.
Jim,
Sure,
we don't believe that, do
absolutely.
we, Jim?
Absolutely 100%. And it turns out the hammer is actually a dildo. You can find it online. It's sold by Amazon.com for about $95. It's a vibrating dildo with batteries. So if you hit someone over the head, it would be like hitting them over the head with a flashlight. This whole thing is such a sham. This guy is a complete left-wing freak. To try and make it out that he's a mega man is just insulting beyond words. When Pelosi called in to the police dispatcher, he began by saying there's a man in his house as though he didn't know his identity, and then realized that wouldn't apply. So he said, actually, his name is David, and he's a friend. And there was no break-in. There was glass on the outside from breaking it from the inside. And would you believe Paul Pelosi, Dean, not only went in for a skull fracture, but he had cut his hand in his arm when he broke the glass to fake a broken it. And who had allowed the cops in? There was a third party in the house. They were having gay sex with this hammer. and there may have been 2 of them. In fact, the pap said they were having sex, and then they got into an argument about drugs, and that's how they had to fight it.
Jim, hold on. I'm having cardiac arrest. Hold on a second. Okay, that's a lot of information. Anyways, here's what people are saying on Rumble. Okay, they're having a sword fight. I'm not sure what that means.
They were having a sword fight.
Well, let's not explore that factor, Jim.
That's gay language, you know.
Okay, moving on. Moving on from that. And thank you for joining us. This is World at War. If you're just getting here, this is where we concentrate on you, the viewer, and your comments, questions, concerns, conjecture, or just folklore of the gay underground. I guess we're into that now. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Real Deal Media's The Men's. It is incredibly on fire here tonight. We have a lot of opinions from all over the world as I'm still your host and head Harem, Dean Ryan, per usual. I'm going to welcome back our Harems here because tonight's episode is still titled Requiem for a Harem. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? It true Requiem at that. From back for us. Welcome back, Sean Gregorian, our other Harem, and our third Harem for the evening, who is a man of mysteries, as in, what is that mystery scent? Oh dear, what is it? That's the one and only Neil Bishop. Neil, thanks for joining us here tonight. All right,
Dean, can I address something before we move on?
Oh, please do so.
Just real briefly. All right, we have, and it frustrates me a little bit. Here we are, experts. We're men. We obviously know what we're talking about. This is science. This is actual science, and we have some female viewers who are disagreeing with us. And it kind of frustrates me a little bit. I just want to express that, Melody in particular, and maybe I could just do a quick role play. This is what I generally do. Like, let's say my wife is disagreeing with me. Like Melody is talking about, she's the evolution of men has nothing to do with dress and all that. What I'm saying is it can't be argued with. So here's what I generally do, and I want to see what you guys think of this. I would say something like this. And if I'm wearing glasses like this, I'd take my glasses off. You listen. Wow. And then I would expect a decent amount of time where I get to explain my case, and just and I think that just needed to be addressed tonight.
Thank you.
And I hope, and I don't know if Melody wants to comment, but I think that's pretty much resolves the issue, doesn't it? And that's a very decent opinion, and you definitely should be the bearer and the winner of the new shirt coming. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, and then ... at least for now. Just be careful. Yeah, but good point, Neil. And we're getting all kinds of different points from all over the world, and I think that women all over the world we're all learning from each other. We're all born from different planets, different parts of the world, different parts of the country, and sometimes women overlook some of the things that men might do. Like, for instance, when I get up in the morning or I'm getting up, I like to make coffee, and then I like to fiddle on the guitar just to as an exercise to get my brain thinking. But maybe that's not what women want. Well, here's what they're saying. They're saying it's time that men stop playing games and settle down and stop wondering why ladies only admire you or just want your attention. They're saying ladies look for maturity in a man, and not just physically, but mentally. The maturity of a man is measured by how a man talks to a lady through phone messages, something called oral communication. That can mean that's very cryptic. A mature man would always communicate in proper language. It doesn't need to be Swahili, but it has to be English of sorts. And he is a messenger, and is clearly understood. Well, here's another example before we get to our resilient men here. Well, for example, an immature man would always talk of clubbing, fashion, drinking alcohol, whereas a mature man is believed to talk about family matters, health, business, and who knows which way the wind's blowing. But we're going to get into our top 3 now, because this is something here. Now, that is so, I agree to that, because when I used to date a lot, I had to drink a lot to feel comfortable in my own skin. Little did I know that I was looking like a complete bonehead in other eyes. It took me a long time to realize that, because I was just fixated on myself and lacking self-awareness. So we're going to get into some top 3 things that women might overlook
in us men here that we notice, from fiddling guitars to manscaping, we'll say. So let's start here with Sean Gregorian, who is going to light the hearts and minds on fire here tonight. I'm looking forward to this all night, actually. So let's start with you, Sean. Tell us, what are women kind of overlooking about you, Sean, and men in general? Go ahead.
Well, it's a simple thing, but they don't appreciate that we lift up the seat when we go to the bathroom, because we lift it up so that we don't get anything on the seat. And what do? They complain that we didn't put it back down. At least we put it up. What do you want from us?
Okay, that's number 3 from Sean Gregorian. Thank you, Sean. I'm glad I called on you first. Neil, that's a hard act to follow, but I think you can manage. Neil, number 3, go ahead.
Thank you for that, Sean. It was the first one on my mind as well, honestly. I didn't know it until you said it, but I'm like, wow.
I think lower the bar here.
Well, I think it's really easy for them to overlook our superior logic.
Okay.
Short and sweet.
Dean, I was hoping you would expound on that.
You know, I'm afraid to move in either which direction. Which way? I feel like a trapeze artist, quite frankly. Okay, logic to lifting the seat. Okay, thank you very much. Let me give my number 3. And God, I'm sweating, not just because it's hot. Well, anyways, my number 3 is quite logical and illogical, but that's what Supertramp said. Well, here's my number 3. Is I think something women might overlook is a man who knows what to get precisely for what the man kitchen and others who share it really want when they take place in the culinary arts. So a man who knows good ingredients that spice up one of the most important 5 senses, and that is taste. Because a man who can cook knows what a man likes as his spice, but also what his awakened divine woman wants as well. So that's my number 3. A man who knows the spice to life and the taste buds, what a woman likes to taste. That is a overlooked quality. Okay, that's my number 3. Sean, I'm going to give it to you for your number dos, as they say in Spanish, and I'm waiting for this one very patiently as well. Go ahead, Sean. Sean Gregorian.
Well, especially in our modern day, we hear a lot about expectations of gender equality. But in the workplace, gender equality suddenly goes out the window when something heavy has to be lifted, or some kind of bulwark has to be done, or something dangerous. Oh, now just let the men do it. And if you say, what about gender equality? They're always the one who says, oh, I never said that. I'm not one of the people that ever said that.
Thank you, Sean. That's absolutely beautiful. And we have a lot of people piping in on Rumble. We have
make some comments.
Yeah, incredible. Just here we have. Here's Dana 1970 says, Sean, that's a legitimate bitch.
She's talking about my coworker.
I'm afraid to ask. Okay, moving on. We also have Love Chihuahua says that men should just pee outside. Yeah. I wish it was that easy. Love Chihuahuas, but there's something called an indecent exposure, and don't we know what that entails? No comment further from me on that.
I'm already on enough of this, so I don't need to be on another one.
Yes, Sean, there's a place for you waiting immediately after tonight. We have Angelina Wolf, who says, got to put the seat down and wash your hands, please. She doesn't like that. We have WS84 says, I've been a bachelor way too long. We have Karen Peterson, who says, OMFG, I can't stop laughing. Careful, you have to pee outside. Go ahead, Neil.
My bathroom is nature, for the most part. I'm in Texas, so I mean, there's actually a law here. It basically says, it's an unspoken law, but if you're not peeing outside at least once a day, you're not a man. I mean, that's one of the requirements here in this great state, to reveal, kind of expose your manhood. So I like that one. And actually, Sean and I are on the same brain wavelength, because my number 2, the things that we're still on the things that women overlook, right? Is that what
I believe so, but now we're talking about what's wrong with Sean Gregorian. I think that's what
well, yes, and that's, I think, a whole nother topic. But
yeah, that's a longer version.
Mine was it was in line with Sean. So they easily overlook the male energy. So this has been dubbed in our modern day society as toxic masculinity.
Right.
Masculinity is not toxic.
Right.
Masculinity is very healthy. Okay. And on a serious moment here. So, and I want to just tell you guys this real quick. We have chickens and we've got a rooster out there with the chickens. Our neighbors have chickens and they don't have a rooster. Okay. They don't have a cock. We'll call them. Okay. So when you go out there to our neighbor's place and you go to gather their chickens, they go out of town. They say, hey, come get our chickens. You go out there with the hens, you get their chickens. There's nothing to worry about. You get their eggs. There's nothing to worry about. There's no male energy. There's no cock out there strutting his stuff. You go to our place. If we have our neighbors come out and check our chickens and want to gather their eggs, they're gonna run right into a cock and it's gonna catch them by surprise. This thing's gonna be strutting his stuff. There's an energy out there, and it's gonna be like, doing his thing and flapping his wings and doing his male thing. What he does. Yep. This is what he does. Okay, and there's an energy there. It's kind of like when you go to the gym. If it's all filled with females, there's a female energy, and that's a good energy. But you get men in there, they're kind of strutting their stuff, and there's this male energy that needs to be there. And I really like, was it Judy or was somebody speaking my language here? They said, just let men be men. Let the man energy, let it go, man. Just appreciate it. I think women overlook that, the need for it, right?
The energy. Very good, Neil. Vision number 2, very lovely. And Kay, and I think we have Cheyenne Hemphill says, irk, ear. Yes.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the cock sound. To what Neil was talking about. Yeah, he was talking about cock energy. Yes, absolutely. I could not agree more. Let me give my number 2 here. How do I follow that one? Well, you know what? I think there's something to be said about that. Well, here's my number 2. A man who knows how to give a good massage, a foot massage, because women are on their feet all day. I'm very sympathetic to women who, strut. Speaking of chickens and energetic cocks, well, women who are strutting all day, they're tired. They need a back rub. And luckily, and I hate to brag, Sean and Neil, but I have magic hands, and God gave us magic hands to take the pain away. And I think that when we talk about things that women might overlook, is a magic man who knows how to give a good foot rub, neck rub, massage, shoulder, etc. It can go a long way, and I think it gets overlooked compared to all those other magazines we were reading about, how they said, well, you have to dress like, you got to dress like Matthew McConaughey and have some goals, and you have to love your totally evil, wicked mother and all these different things. And, no, a massage goes a long way. So anyways, all right, after that one.
Dean, can I massage that thought just real quick? I mean, don't women overlook the need for a man's need for a massage too? Dean or Sean, go. Take off with that. Take off.
What a great segue. Sean, I'm going to let you answer that because I don't have anyone massaging my thoughts. Go ahead, Sean.
I can't complain about that because my wife gives great massages, just to divulge a little personal information there. But if I have a little tightness in the shoulders or the neck from tension, she takes care of that for me, and she does a good job.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I sense a lot of tension tonight, Sean. She might be judo chopping that neck immediately.
Yeah, she's on deck.
I can see it now. She's got the dish glove on. Anyways, so we're going to go to our number one, our number one most overlooked quality about ourselves that women might overlook because they're reading Marie Claire, Teen Beat, all these women magazines, just Playgirl, dare I say. Okay, so I'm going to give it to you, Sean Gregorian. Tell us your number one at this time, and feel free to include exotic animals, farm animals, or anything that's wild and boorish. Go ahead.
Well, women want to be noticed, and they want to be complimented, and they want to feel good about themselves, right? So what do they say when we do give them a genuine compliment? Oh, I didn't even do my hair yet. And, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes the times that I compliment are, when she just got up in the morning, or sometimes there's just the naturalness about her. I'll give her a compliment and, I don't look good, right? Just take the compliment. You're on mute.
I'm on mute because I was cheering you on, like the magazine was saying. I was cheering you on.
I was trying not to pull a Kate's on you, so I tried to tell you as soon as I could.
Thank you, Sean, and I think I'm getting tension in my neck. But I think Neil, Sean has a point. Force the compliment sometimes. I think that's what he's trying to convey. Force the compliment to open the eyes, like Roddy Piper said. Put on the glasses. Anyways, let's go to number one most overlooked quality about yourself that women might not understand or see. Go ahead, Neil, at this time.
Absolutely. And that is the desire, the innate, built-in, natural, manly, testosteronic desire to protect the woman. Protect. All right. Real quick. Okay, now listen, just real quick. We've talked about cocks. We talked about deer urine. We talked about bearskin. I want to just real quick mention something. It's called foreskin. And this is very applicable. And this is a Bible story, you guys. This is straight from the Bible. Now listen, King David wanted to. He wanted a certain woman. Okay, and this happened to be King Saul's daughter, and he wanted King Saul's daughter. And King Saul said, "I'll set you up. I'm going to get you killed because I don't want you to have my daughter. You go and kill 100 Philistines, 100 of the enemy." David says, "Okay." So Saul's thinking he's never coming back. David goes over there. He kills 200 of these Philistines, and he brings back their foreskins just to get this woman.
Oh,
Do you guys remember that story? I know. He brings back a bag of foreskins. So
okay.
this is, and I think required watching for all new couples or soon-to-be married couples or women not quite understanding men or men not quite understanding their testosteronic levels or what they should be is watch 300. You guys watch the movie 300. That's like men being men, like, I'm going to go protect my woman and I'll die doing it. Now, the women weren't weak in that. The wives were strong, but Unitas, he manned up. He goes out on the battlefield. He says, I'm going to go out and I'm going to die, and I'm going to die protecting my woman. And I'm going to bring back the foreskins.
So it's a manly foreskin is what women, or
that's the heart of the issue right there, Dean. You listen really well for a man. That's good.
Just being a journalist here at the moment. Thank you very much, Neil. And
Judy, you're right. It's a true story. Sorry.
Yes. No, Judy is very well versed in the foreskin museum. But here's my number one here. And I've heard so many, and thank you to all my harems here tonight. There's so many just different angles and perceptions and what have you, realities. My number one thing in the same theme of the incredible Neil Bishop here tonight, who's just on fire with so many of you. My number one is, and it really goes down to the primitive factor. And I've done the studies, I've done the research, the MIT papers. I've been just researching virtually for decades now. I think the number one thing that women might overlook is a man with stamina. A man with stamina. When I mean stamina, I'm not talking about 5 or 10 Ks, nor am I talking about someone who can just manage to watch The Notebook 3 times in a row or anything like that. No, stamina where it counts, someone who goes the distance. In fact, I think the musician Sting said it best. Well, never underestimate your tantric abilities in a time of the modern world. And how true is that? I think stamina and having good stamina can really up the ante and please your company, but also get all your qualities on display in energy from the cock of the walk to the foreskinish fortitude to Sean's whatever he said earlier. It gets it all out there, and the stamina is what will keep you in the history dialogues and logs of a woman. And that's it. That's what I think is the most overlooked thing, is stamina and perseverance where it counts. And,
Dean, can we just be clear? I mean, since it's just us three talking here, us three guys, let's just be clear. You're talking about the stamina of a man's ability to listen for a length. I mean, it could be minutes, it could be hours to listen to your. Okay, well, I just want to make sure I understand you right, because I think specifically, let's just say what we're talking about, right?
Neil, I'm glad you found a way to put me on the spot, and
let's just say it.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I'm talking about where all the magic happens, as they say on MTV Cribs, in the fornication hallways of between, like when Michael Bolton says, "When a man loves a woman," yes, he was talking about stamina. That's where it counts. That's where the Olympian god comes out, and the goddess says, "Yes, please help me. I'm a damsel in distress." And we say,
"Don't worry, I got about 5 more hours. Hold tight."
You know what I mean?
It's like the triathlon. If you get tired during the running part, well, then just do a few extra miles on the bike to make up for it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right, Sean. As the old wise man would say, weaken the hips, use the lips. Neil, do you want to add to that? Okay, well, silence is beyond golden. It's cryptic and digital. Anyways, we're
I
gonna
am scared. Actually, I'm scared.
we're gonna field some we're gonna field some comments before I develop a further ulcer here. We have Liz Marchand says, or no, that's not Liz, that's Nigel. Who wears trousers in the relationship? Okay, yeah, that's very interesting. Thank you, Nigel. We have Liz Marchand who says, "You're still young, Dean." Yes, I am. Thank you very much. God. Let's go to Rumble here, but although I'm afraid to. What are they saying there? Bika Bika says, "Those are my favorite compliments." Well, thank you very much. Oh, God. Karen Peterson, who's commenting, she says, the man sausage is getting the correct ingredients. Okay, thank you. Love Chihuahua says, "Sometimes silence is the answer." Neil, that's right. Hammer Time says, good song, Going the Distance. Thank you, Hammer Time. And also, Dana 1970, who is, I don't know what she's talking about here. She says, "Stamina, not a blue pill." Dana, there's no Flintstone medicines here. No pills here. And then we have Hammer Time, who's on fire again. I like Mad Max. Oh, here, Angelina Wolf says, "Yes, be the protector," in regards to Neil. Rare to find. Protectors. Great movie, 300. Maddie Lynn says, this is Elizabeth Hudson saying, "Just to backtrack a moment, the logic of a woman needing men to put seat down is that women don't face forward. So there are two surprises. The first feels like someone pulled a chair out from under you, and the next is the yuck of sitting on a rim with a peer." Okay.
It's always Facebook.
Okay. And I think this expresses it all. Nigel Dyer says, "I can see Sean's wife with a rolling pin above his head and a shovel in the other hand." So can I, Nigel. Absolutely.
What does he know? He calls pants trousers.
Oh, my God. Okay, we're going to kind of end it there here. And we've learned a lot here tonight. And boy, am I soaked. So now I'm going to go around here as we now get ready to do something incredible, which is called our... Probably last thoughts of all time, too. And guys, I know good lawyers. Just letting you know that now. I know good lawyers. Final thoughts here. We're going to go to our harems here, and thank you for joining us and staying with us now. We're going to give you our final thoughts on this whole debacle of men, women, who's wearing the trousers or whatever Sean Gregorian said earlier. But we're going to put it all with our final thoughts. And we're going to start with Sean Gregorian first, because it might be his final thought of all time. Sean, if you would.
Well, I just wanted to say that, echo something that was said before, that masculinity is not toxic. It's just who we are as men. We've been trying to be taught that, that men and women don't have distinct inherent differences when they do. It's something deep down in you. It's not just something you identify as. And, masculinity is not toxic. If anybody could be an asshole, right? But it's not toxic to be masculine.
Well, thank you for referring to me again, Sean. That's number 2 of the night. I love it. Absolutely. Now we're going to go to our harem, one of our last harems here, for his final thought. Neil, give us your final thought, if you would, please. Neil, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm offended by, I think Nigel made an accusation toward the 300, saying that he's suggesting that they were all gay. That offends me, Nigel. And but it also, I've never heard that before. But in my opinion, they were like the most homosexual group of men that you'll ever see in one place in a movie at one time. So no, I'm going to just answer that question and say no, they weren't. I also want to say that everything that was said here and discussed between the three of us, it's science-based. This is based on evidence. It's true. It's inarguable. The science is settled. Okay. And then one last thought. I'll leave you with this. Be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. There you go.
Okay, very good. And I think Nigel meant gay as in happy. That's an old-fashioned term, just like,
yeah, that's true.
Like a zippity-doo-dah, gay old time. You know how it is. We got a lot of throwbacks here, Neil. Don't you worry. Okay, here's my final thought here as we scurry out of here immediately, like I did earlier with a pack of whores. Well, anyways, my final thought is very simple, very pristine, and very clean, just like me. And clean indeed. But final thought is, as we try to find and discover the world's mysteries of, like, where's the Shroud of Christ, where's the Ark, where's Jimmy Hoffa buried, and which way is north? Well, we're also trying to discover what are women really about? The greatest mystery. What are they thinking? What do they talk about? And what do they really want, don't want, overlook, oversee? And that's what this show is all about. While just trying to find out and learn from each other. Because men, we don't often talk about these things until pressed. But what a time to be pressed, as the world of calamities, confusion, and just masterhood, as my shirt was referring to earlier, is quite confusing. Well, hopefully this show tonight and this episode is making the case in clarity of it all as we come together like never before, whether you're 300 gay men who are just really happy and not that kind of gay, or you're just a cock of the walk, just trying to find your way home and doing the strut. You know, it takes all kinds, because to put it all together, you take the good, you take the bad, you put them together, then you have, that's right, the facts of life. And that's what it's all about. So anyways, I want to thank my harems here tonight. I want to thank Sean Gregorian, who's going to be in some deep shit after tonight when the show's over. I want to thank you for being here, Sean Gregorian. And also Neil Bishop, you can catch his show, and we'll put a link out there for him. Thank you for being here, Neil. We hope you join us again. And thank all of you. So for Sean Gregorian, Neil, I am Dean Ryan. So thank you for being here tonight. We'll see you again soon. Always remember to stay tuned, and always remember to please stay awake. Good night, everybody.